Okay, they definitely are staying the course with some of the WarGames build. With another part of it, not so much. They've pretty much flipped the script. And that surprise, or potential surprise, turned out to be an actual surprise in more ways than one. Welcome to Silo Voice Wrestling on YouTube and the Silo Voice Wrestling podcast, wherever you get your podcasts. I'm Jason C. McLean, and these are my assorted thoughts on the November 14th, 2025 WWE Smackdown. And I'm recording this November the 15th, Saturday. It's about 4 o'clock in the afternoon. And I just got to say, first of all, SmackDown started off with my favorite new pairing, Rhea Ripley and Io Sky. They're great together. But let's actually start there with the women's WarGames build. And they definitely flipped the script. Turns out Charlotte Flair will not be part of the babyface women's WarGames team, bringing 4 down to 3. The 3 remaining, Alexa Bliss, Rhea Ripley, Io Sky. I definitely did not see that coming. The other team still has 4, Nia Jax, Lash Legend, and the Kabuki Warriors, Asuka and Kairi Sane. Now, I'm wondering why. Now, there's one of 2 reasons they could be doing this. One is maybe they are going to do a Charlotte-Alexa proper split, and the way to do that is Charlotte somehow ends up showing up on the heel team, which would fill out the heel team, and then we need 2 more people on the babyface team. Not sure who that's going to be. I was originally thinking they'd put Becky Lynch on the heel team and AJ Lee on the babyface team. Obviously, if Charlotte goes there, let's say if Charlotte does go there, or if she doesn't, they could put Becky Lynch. But if Charlotte goes there, they could put Charlotte there. The other reason could be they're trying to bring in a tag team. Now, I'm thinking they're going to bring in AJ Lee, and maybe there's somebody else they want to bring in. I'm not sure who. I'm racking my brain to try and figure out who. There's probably a name that's escaping me at this point. Maxine Dupree. No, I don't think Maxine's really ready for that yet. Maybe Liv Morgan's going to return. The only way I could see Liv siding with Rhea is if she has real animosity on the other side. How much do they want to make her coming back being a revenge on Kairi Sane for putting her out, or the Kabuki Warriors, or something like that? It's kind of a stretch because it wasn't a match with Kairi where Liv got injured. They did tease the idea of making that part of the storyline, even though it was clearly an accident. So maybe they want to have AJ Lee and they want to have Liv Morgan, and the way to do that is to put Charlotte Flair on the other team. Not sure. We'll see where this goes, but actually this did definitely get a little bit more interesting. Yeah, and the beatdown didn't really answer any questions. It just answered that, or just reinforced the fact that it's now 4-on-3 when it needs to be 5-on-5. Or wait, hear me out. I just thought of this now. I was ready to talk about the next topic, but maybe Bianca Belair is going to come back, and the other person on the heel team is going to be Jade Cargill or Charlotte Flair. Who knows? But never forget Bianca. And I did. And I'm sorry. That's definitely a possibility. As for the men's WarGames match, well, pretty much this show was developing that story, like the main through line of the show. There's no other reason to have a main event match between Cody Rhodes and Bronson Reed out of nowhere. And now the only thing I'm wondering is, why did Paul Heyman insist on making it a title match? Maybe to confuse, when clearly they were going to cause a disqualification and it was going to be a big beatdown. Just make it a one-on-one match, then it doesn't really matter. Or maybe they thought give Bronson the chance to win the title, but that was obviously not the main goal. Little nitpick there, but no, that was a good match. And okay, so we have on one team Cody Rhodes, Jey Uso, CM Punk, Jimmy Uso. Okay, so I was not thinking Big Jim was going to be on the team, but it makes sense. And on the other side, we have Braun Breaker, Bronson Reed, Logan Paul, and now Drew McIntyre. I honestly thought Drew was suspended so he could go film a movie. He is filming a movie. He's in Highlander, the reboot of Highlander. He's playing Angus MacLeod next to the star Henry Cavill's Gavin MacLeod. I actually really want to see that movie. I don't even remember Highlander much from when I was a kid. Anyway, so Drew, but the main reason they had him suspended was so that Paul Heyman could do some trickery to bring him back, and that makes perfect sense. Also, Drew's great for this team because him and Logan have even worked together before, and Drew and Heyman is an interesting mix, but I guess we're going to see how that works out. So now there's one spot on each team. Now, what I'm really thinking is it's going to be John Cena on the babyface team and Brock Lesnar on the heel team. They'd have to do at least the Cena part of that, if not most likely both parts, on Monday Night Raw, because you don't want, unless Cena just announces it through a video or something like that, because he only has 3 more appearances, his final match, WarGames itself, and Raw on Monday. If it's not that, people have suggested Roman. That might be an awkward fit. Maybe it'll just be LA Knight, and maybe the heel will be Brock, but or it'll be someone else, and it won't be Cena, and Cena will be involved in something else. I really think Cena should be involved in the WarGames match because I really think they should do Dom and Ray at Survivor Series. But anyways, yeah, I mean, this was some good development. This is not the major strokes that we needed, but at least we know that Jimmy Uso's plugged in now. Big Jim's there. So maybe if they win the tag titles or something, they could go in as champion or all be champions. But anyways, we'll see where this goes. It was a fine main event for the show. Obviously, the stakes is more in the build to WarGames, and this is not the biggest of the builds, but things are moving. And as I had hoped, we are getting a 5-on-5 Classic Survivor Series elimination match. It's going to be on the SmackDown before. No big deal. Survivor Series weekends, there's 2 WarGames matches on the actual Survivor Series. So you make Survivor Series weekend a thing. I think at one point they were going the Wyatts versus the MFTs, but no, it's the MFTs. Solo Sikoa and his MFTs, Solo Sikoa, Tamatonga, Tongaloa, Taller Tonga, and JC Mateo against Sami Zayn, I guess is the leader, Rey Fenix, the Motor City Machine Guns, and Shinsuke Nakamura. That's kind of an odd mix sort of thrown together, but it's basically the mid-card heels, the MFTs versus the mid-card baby faces led by Sami Zayn. Now, I don't think Sami Zayn is a mid-carder, and I'm fine with him in this match. He's sort of the lead of the match. I don't think Solo is really a mid-carder. He kind of plays in the mid-card a bit, but no, that's fine. I think Sami Zayn is going on to world title thing, but right now he's sort of leading the mid-card. He's not the U.S. champion anymore. They took that out of it. He's sort of leading the SmackDown mid-card, which is good. It's still a kind of a main event thing. Sammy's just what Jim Ross would have described as, quote, a hell of a hand, like a guy who might, like someone like Mick Foley, who might become world champion, but could also be playing in these roles too. So I'm fine with that. I think the crowd, I would have liked it if the crowd had been a little bit more into it when this was being set up and when this match was being announced. But I mean, the Albany crowd wasn't into absolutely everything. It wasn't an MSG crowd. It wasn't the Boston crowd. So I'm fine with that. And I'm definitely looking forward to this match. And I'm fine with it being on SmackDown. And the big surprise turned out to be a surprise. No, it wasn't Joe Hendry as LA Knight's mystery opponent in the Last Time Is Now tournament. And it wasn't Matt Cardona either, even though it was actually Matt Cardona who came out, but he was playing Zack Ryder, his old WWE name. Now, I think some people had suspected that Matt Cardona, who, by the way, is the king of the deathmatch in the indie scene, and in reality is Chelsea Green's husband, people named him as one of the potential people, him for one, and the other mystery match being Joe Hendry, who, by the way, is now signed with WWE. But I don't think anyone thought that he was going to come out as his old gimmick. I saw this somewhere in some short somewhere. I'm not taking credit for it, but I don't remember who to give credit to. But I think the reason why he came out as Zack Ryder is because Matt Cardona doesn't really have a history with John Cena, whereas Zack Ryder has a huge history with John Cena. So it made sense. Whether or not they're going to keep him like this, I don't know. Or whether or not maybe they're going to pull a Mick Foley, a Royal Rumble. They're three faces of Foley. They had Zack Ryder lose in the tournament. And then the other surprise guest on Monday against Solo Sikoa is going to be Matt Cardona, and he's going to win. You know, being in it twice. I think it still might be Joe Hendry. Actually, talking of the tournament in general, Jey Uso beat The Miz. No real surprises there. I mean, I could have seen The Miz advancing because, I mean, he does have that history. Maybe he's going to challenge Cena on Raw, be his opponent there, because he does have that history with Cena and is the only one who's been left out. They're definitely pushing that. But as far as the rest of the tournament, honestly, this one's kind of confusing to follow because there's no official tournament bracket. All we can tell is who's in it. Well, so far, those that have advanced to the next round, no clue who their opponents are Sheamus, Rusev, Jey Uso, and LA Knight. Yeah. And the other people who might win it, I'm going to have to put on my glasses for this and give it a little look, are Gunther or Javon Evans. I think Javon's going to do great, but I'm predicting Gunther. Solo Sikoa and the mystery opponent, either Joe Hendry, maybe Matt Cardona back again, someone else, we're not sure. I don't think Solo's advancing. Penta versus Finn Balor. I think Penta's going to advance. And Braun Breaker versus Carmelo Hayes. Carmelo is going to advance. I'm predicting that Gunther is going to win this tournament overall and be John Cena's opponent, but there are some other names in there that I wouldn't be surprised if it was them. I could see Carmelo doing it. I could see Joe Hendry or another mystery opponent doing it. I could see Javon doing it, but I can't see Javon getting by Gunther. I just think that's going to be an incredible match. So I don't think he's going to make it to the final, let alone win. Penta, he definitely is going to get a push. He's going to win. He's going to go into the next round, but I can't really see Penta being seen as final opponent. But again, it would really help if I knew what the brackets were. The U.S. Open Challenge produced another banger of a match, especially at the end, where it was Ilya Dragunov defending the United States Championship against Axiom. I almost called it against Axiom. Axiom definitely showed off his chops. This is what this tournament is for. Of course, Dragunov ended up winning. I think he's going to hold this title for a while, maybe even longer than Sami Zayn did. I don't know why he keeps ducking. They have him keep ducking Tommaso Ciampa. Tommaso's a strong competitor. It's probably going to be a good match. Maybe they're trying to build that match so it's something important on the PLE. Not sure. But that was instead of just being a random tournament match. But they seem to be giving a little bit more smoke to that than you'd expect. But still enjoying this tournament. And Jade Cargill pretty much squashing B-Fab in just a few minutes. B-Fab got in some offense at the beginning, but Jade Cargill took over. I said going in, this is not going to be a long match, and it shouldn't be. And they set up the next one, which is probably going to be Jade Cargill versus Michin. That's going to be another squash. Again, I think they're doing this perfectly. I think Jade just has to be a killer right until she finds an opponent who can maybe take her a little bit longer, maybe returning Tiffany Stratton. And ultimately, I'm saying Bianca Belair at WrestleMania. But yeah, they're doing this perfectly. And these were my assorted thoughts on the November 14th, 2025 WWE Smackdown from Albany, New York. Overall takeaway no, I did not like this as much as Monday's Raw from Boston with the Cena bit with the IC title, winning the IC title, becoming a Grand Slam champion. Also, some of the WarGames build, just the way the crowd in general. And I think that I'm going to like the Raw on Monday at Madison Square Garden more than this SmackDown as well too. Doesn't mean the SmackDown was bad. It's not one of those shows that they're putting a lot behind, and it was decent for what it was. There were some good moments. Next week, apparently Chelsea Green has her celebration. Looking forward to that. Should be funny. So this was functional. I didn't dislike it, but I didn't like it as much as the previous Raw, or as much as I think I'm going to like the next Raw, if that makes sense to you. There have been SmackDowns, though, that I've liked more than Raws, but just this wasn't one of them, but it was still decent. Do you agree with my assorted thoughts? Let me know in the comments. Follow at Silo Voice Wrestling on Facebook and Instagram, at Silo Wrestling on X, and me at Jason C. McLean on X and Instagram. Also, jasoncmclean.bsky.social on Bluesky. Make sure you like, share, subscribe, ring that bell for notifications to get all my wrestling hot takes, cold takes, simmering takes, wrestling opinion pieces, WWE Premium Live Event prediction and review videos, and assorted thoughts on Raw and SmackDown. I will be back with my assorted thoughts on the Madison Square Garden Raw. Until then, for Silo Voice Studios in Montreal, I'm Jason C. McLean.